Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Ria Roy. Here I'm going to talk about T.S. Eliot, but here not as a poet but as a literary critic. As you know that this is a series of literary criticism, and I have not been posting videos regarding my subject because I was quite busy while focusing on my career. But yeah, again I have come here and to help you just to clear your net, as well as you can also get a proper idea about English literature. Okay, so here I'm going to talk about the function of literary criticism. That is a famous work of T.S. Eliot, and that will help you to understand literary criticism in a smooth way. So there is a story behind writing this work, The Function of Criticism by T.S. Eliot. So what was the story? That first T.S. Eliot wrote a work called Tradition and Individual Talent, and in response to this work, or to criticize this work, the then literary critic John Middleton Murray, who also wrote one work that was known as Romanticism and Tradition. Again, in response to that work, T.S. Eliot wrote this work, The Function of Criticism. And The Function of Criticism was first published in 1923. So, before we understand the work in details, let's first understand the one question that posted T.S. Eliot in his work. The first question was that why should we need literary criticism? So the answer is very simple. He says that it helps in judging a literary work written by a writer. Now, he also says that some critics say that literary criticism means only to find the faults of the writer in any work. But he says it is not the case, okay? Because it also covers merits and demerits of any writer. Now we think that literary criticism is only to judge any work by reading it for many times, but it is not correct. T.S. Eliot says that while you are judging any work, any writer's work, you are making a broad sense from that work, and also you will find the utilization of that work in our literary world. Now, T.S. Eliot further divided this work into four parts. So the first part talks about the discussion of what is criticism and how should a literary critic criticize any work of art. Now, in second part, he discusses John Middleton Murray's criticism on Romanticism and Classicism and how T.S. Eliot contradicts his statements. Now in third part, T.S. Eliot said that how he pointed the literary critical view on Murray. Now the fourth part, where T.S. Eliot discusses the link between the literary creativity and the criticism, how they are connected to each other. So let's first understand the first part, where he discusses what is criticism and why should we do criticism. Some critics say that criticism is kind of an autotelic work. Okay, autotelic means the work which has its own purpose and which has its own end. But T.S. Eliot says that no, literary criticism has not only one purpose. Okay, it has some other purpose. You can judge a literary work, okay, by your criticism, and also you can understand that why literary criticism is important, and you can also put your comment in a written mode, so that is called a criticism, and this is why we need criticism. And T.S. Eliot says that many critics like Matthew Arnold, who said that literary criticism has also some other purpose. For example, if it helps us to find the pleasure in a literary work, then it also helps us to teach us the morality. But T.S. Eliot says that no, morality is something that literary criticism does not teach. Rather, we have some other subject to teach our readers morality. And what are those subjects? Like philosophy. So, according to T.S. Eliot, we don't need any other purpose of literary criticism. Rather, it has only one purpose, that is to please the readers and to improve its taste. Now, T.S. Eliot also pointed a very interesting point here, and that is impersonalization of a literary work. He says that we cannot just point our own personal view to criticize any work. Okay, suppose you don't like the writer personally, but the work is really marvelous, so you cannot put your own comment, own personal view on that writer. And he says, always remember while criticizing any work that we have to criticizing the work of art rather the critic. Now, in another part, T.S. Eliot says that we should always remember one thing, that we have to know all the rules, all the structure and regulations of that skill, that is criticism. If you are planning to criticize any work, then first know about the work, first know what is all the origin of that work, what is the structure of that work, and what is the function of that work. Now, in second part, T.S. Eliot said that how Murray or John Middleton Murray has presented his own views on romanticism and classicism. Murray said that romanticism is much more about England, about the Britishers, whereas the classicism is a feature of the French culture. As Murray was coming from actually England, always supported romanticism much than even the classicism. And T.S. Eliot said that in this way Murray has neglected classicism. The second point Murray here has presented is that he said that we need to always listen to our inner voice while criticizing any work. But T.S. Eliot says that no, it's not the truth. Okay, if we just follow our own inner self, then we will advocating what we are doing. The third point that Murray is saying that we should always blindly follow our self view, and rather we should follow the rules and regulation. He is saying that rules are made to be broken. Okay, so we need to just listen to our free will. But T.S. Eliot fully opposed this statement. He said that no, we need to just focus rules and regulation, otherwise we will become arbitrary. Now, in the third part, where T.S. Eliot wrote his own criticism on Murray. Now, T.S. Eliot made a difference between classicism and romanticism. He says classicism is much more mature than romanticism, and classicism is a complete whole, whereas the romanticism is a fragment. Now, in the fourth part, where T.S. Eliot said that there is a link between the criticism and the creative work. Okay, like many critics say, like Matthew Arnold and also like John Middleton Murray, who said that there is no connection between a creative work and a literary critical work. Okay, like if you don't know even the creativity, still you can criticize a work. But T.S. Eliot said that no, you first have to know the creativity. What is creativity? Then you can only criticize any work. Okay, and he also says that we find so many critics who are superior even than many other common critics. Why? Because their power of creativity is superior, their faculty of creativity and creative thinking is superior than others. So here I'm just ending my video by telling all these points. You can make a note of that, and if you like and if you find any kind of helpful information in this video, then you can do like and subscribe to my channel, and for more videos please keep following me. Bye bye, thank you.